Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brand. I'm your host, Stuart, and today we're going to look at something completely different, and that is a new technique that's being developed to help people with long term treatment resistant depression. Now, I'm not going to tell all my story on here, but I could fall into this category easily. Been diagnosed with PTSD twice in my life, and I've taken more antidepressants than most people. And so, this article, when I saw it today, seemed to really just kind of touch a nerve and just really wanted to explore what it had. So I want to explore what this is and kind of give comfort to those out there struggling with depression at this moment. Now, this article is just this is a medical study that is being done that where they took a small group of people and implanted electrodes into a certain point in the brain, and it's a lot of technical stuff that I didn't quite understand. I understand the concept, but not all the medical jargon, to stimulate that brain to help rewire, help people adjust to their depression, to help ease it in, help just treat it, where medication and therapy just hasn't seemed to provided any long-term relief. Now, the study itself had about a 40% success rate, is what they reported. 40%. And that's not great. Um, but depression is a complicated condition. How so? Well, there is an emotional component. Emotions can drive you into depression. Situations can drive you into depression. Trauma. Uh, there's a soul component to it, I believe. There's a mind component and a physical component. And it can vary from person to person. So while some of these people that didn't have success could have something that they're holding on to and need to deal with for their depression to release, and there are some out there that have had massive trauma um, that has caused problems in their brain to actually what they call fear site. Was it? It's fear something. Basically, your brain kind of rewires itself a little bit based on the trauma, and this can be found in a lot of people that have gone through massive traumatic experiences. Your brain's rewired, and it you process things a little differently than you used to. You process things differently than most people do, and this is where that physical component comes in. And that could be why we see such a low success rate. And I say low because it's not above 50%. And 40% is nothing to sneeze at, but with something new, you kind of hope it blows up. But this this wasn't it. But this could be something to treat those that suffer. It is a medical procedure, and that causes me a lot of pause in general. I mean, medical procedures, no matter how safe, there's always a risk, but it is an option that could be available in the future. Now, people with depression, there's so much that could be causing it, and I've felt it all. So, I mean, to me, depression is just a friend, and I live with it on a daily basis. I and there are people out there that it cripples them. There's people out there that have learned to put on a mask and go throughout their day. No one knows, no one can see it. Even at home, they have another mask for at home, so no one at home realizes what they're going. But eventually, that person finds that quiet spot and takes off all their masks and just let it out. And those are the people that this is designed for. These are the people that are truly suffering from depression, and it is just something they can't bear. And I've been there multiple times, and it's something I don't wish upon anybody because it depression just doesn't affect your mood. It literally affects your body. Your brain and your body are connected, and this is just something I've seen in my life, and in others that I have talked to and counseled over the years, that this is something, when it does, it affects your body. You are prone to illness. You are prone to muscle fatigue. You start having breakdowns in some of your immune system and things like this. And this is all not because of a virus. This is because of something going on in your head. Your brain is just not processing things right, and it's just kind of like there's a problem here, and then there's a problem here, and then down the line, it's just a domino effect. And once it gets there, it's affecting your whole body. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a counselor. I'm I'm a person who suffers with this on a regular basis. So I come at this so that you know that you're not alone. There are people out there that do suffer from depression and do have problems with it. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. And sometimes people have asked, "What can I do?" And I've told them there's no right answer. If you know someone who's depressed, how to help them. But I do have a universal one. Ask them if there's anything you can do. And when they eventually say no, ask them, "Well, can I just sit here with you?" This is something that I find all people suffering from depression, not always at the same time, but eventually they want to feel connected to someone. They don't want to talk about what's going on in their head. They don't want to show you the darkness that they're fighting inside their mind. But you sitting there and being there, saying nothing, gives them a connection. It keeps them grounded. That's all. I mean, seriously. Sometimes that's all it takes, just for someone to make it through today. Make it through a tough situation at work. Make it just keep on going. And if you are currently suffering through depression, there are people out there. There are many resources. The hardest part is swallowing that pride and asking for help. Pushing down that fear and taking that step to get help. Sometimes all it takes is asking a friend just to listen. Depression can be devastating to you, but don't do it alone. Seek help. Anyone. Anyone that suffers through this. I pray for you with all my heart and fervently, because I know where you are. I have seen where you've stood. I've thought the thoughts that are in your head. Don't do it alone. Reach out no matter what it costs you. Because that feeling of inadequacy or fear of just that ego having to be slightly humbled and asking for help, whatever it is that's holding you back from asking for help, I promise you that is the tiniest price that you'll have to pay for something that could help you for the rest of your life. So don't delay. If you need help, please reach out to someone. There's someone out there. If not, there are many resources. I'll post a few down below for you to contact for those that are suffering through depression. But as always, never forget, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.